In the previous advanced RSAT blog post, we have realized a flow connector for RSAT. In other words, we have plugged RSAT into the Microsoft Power Platform. This elevates RSAT from being just a standalone application with limited capabilities to a tool that can now be combined with the rest of the Microsoft stack without any coding. This opens up a new wealth of opportunities to enhance our D365 automated testing experience. The target for this video and this blog post is to start D365 regression testing directly from Azure DevOps. All the heavy lifting is done by Flow and RSAT in the background, out of sight for the user. There's no coding required for this solution. Some of you may ask, why wouldn't we just use Azure pipelines and PowerShell for this purpose? That's still a good option in my opinion, but my aim is in this showcase to pull test orchestration out of the tech area into the hands of people with low coding or no coding experience at all. So first, we'll look into the design and then I will demo the solution. So first, the design. As a first step in this showcase, we'll define a new state on the test suite work item in Azure DevOps. We'll call that state Run RSAT. Then we'll define a trigger on our flow for this demo, which is actually working against any updates on work items in Azure DevOps. Then we'll filter for any updates which set the state on a test suite to run RSAT, and only in that case we'll continue. Then we'll reuse the connector that we have built in the previous blog post, basically to kick off RSAT, and then we'll wait for the final log file from RSAT to drop into our archive folder. And once that's done, we'll actually send an email to notify the user that the process is finished, RSAT is finished, and we'll attach the log files from the RSAT run to the email. So let's see all of this in action. The first thing we're going to do is that we're going into Azure DevOps and we are going to amend the template that we are using for the Azure DevOps project. So if you go into organization settings, you go into process, and you find your particular template, in this case we are using CMMI, you can go into the test suite, go into states, and then configure a run RSAT state and an RSAT completed state. Once you've done that, on the test suite itself, and this is our famous great customer scenario again, on the test suite itself, you can right mouse click and then open the test suite properties. And then we can set the state to run RSAT. As I've enabled Power Plant 2 here, the recurrence for the actual trigger to start the flow is 1 minute. So within 1 minute flow will pick it up. Let's take a look at the actual flow. So here's the actual flow. So here's the step to filter for test suite is run RSAT. As you can see, I'm using the scope element to kind of group all the steps in there. Then we're going to iterate through the test cases in that particular suite. We're going to run the test cases and then we're going to wait for RSAT to finalize and get the results. So we wait until the final archiving file is dropped. So let's see if Flow already picked it up 34 seconds ago. So let's quickly dive into it. Some of the steps are already done, and as you can see here, Flow is still waiting for RSAT to be finished. In this case, that will be around 50 seconds, so we're very close to finalization here. So the email was sent as well, so I think in a few seconds we'll have the email. So here's the email. So if you click into that, we can see that the test cases were run for test suite 30141, and we have 2 log files. You will recognize these log files from my previous video. So in here we can see what the PowerShell script has done actually on the RSAT machine. So we can see that it took about 30 seconds to execute this one, a little bit more. And then in the other log file, we can see the results as basically returned by the RSAT tool. So we can see that our test was passed. So we can have a look in Azure DevOps, and we will find a positive test result there. So let's do that. First of all, let's check in Azure in Dynamics 365 whether we have our new cost account. There it is. And then let's dive into the suite. If we refresh this, we'll see that it's passed. So if we go into the details, we'll find this cost account that was created as per my previous video.